Smelling good, eating good, drinking good, thinking good, thoughts, having a good time, sharing good energy. You know where my other phone is. With good people in good places, doing good things. Get my iPad. Can you get my iPad for me? Get my iPad for me? Can you get it for me?
What is it doing?
Check to see if my live is up. Hey collective. That's just a little bit of Palo Santo. I haven't had Palo Santo, I think, in a long time. And I found some like little pieces. And since I'm in the house with the kids, I don't do the smudging because not everybody is appreciative the same. But
can, after you check if your light is up, then can I have the iPad after? Mine just died. And I'll be right back. I gotta go.
Okay. Okay. Bring me one too, please. Okay, let's see, collective. Let's see if I'm live. Which I believe I am. Here we go. Here we go. What? Why is my video in restricted mode? That's weird. I'm live. Wow. That's gotta be crazy. Huh. So they're blocking my live somehow? Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just going to switch the account. Maybe there's just something off on that one. Maybe I have the restrictions on that one for my daughter to use it. And my readings definitely aren't for children, so let's see. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, cool. Here, baby. Thank you.
Ooh, you might want to use this.
And she's all, oh, good. You put it right back onto what I was looking. So, yeah. I was like, wait a minute. I know they can't be blocking my live. Okay. They might try, though. But, okay, so the minor emergency. Okay, so you guys, I've never made tamales before. And I decided that I was going to make tamales for Christmas Eve, right? I'm sorry, for New Year's Eve. And I knew about the lard and whipping the lard, but I didn't know that, like, with tamales, your masa has to get a, like, it has to get to a certain texture where it floats in water in order for it to be right and ready for your actual tamales. And so I didn't know that. And I'm whipping and whipping and whipping and mixing and mixing and mixing. And I'm doing this all by hands, you know. So that's why I'm just kind of like, okay. I don't know. That was a minor emergency to me because it's like, what do you do when your masa doesn't float, you know? But I feel like maybe other people probably looked at that and thought like, oh, some kind of like big catastrophe, right? And that's typically what people do, is that because that's what they're wishing for you. That should tell you the kind of energy that people are in. Like they automatically like assume something. Like they're not just like, well, what is it? Like what's the, minor emergency? They're looking for it to have something to do with like the new beginning of the collective. So there are probably some of my haters that saw that post and like wanted to run straight to the live. Like, oh, what happened? Yeah, but don't worry. It went right on up. That monster, as soon as I got ready to like go sit down for 15 minutes and like reevaluate, like, what do I do? Do I just move forward with it? Do I just keep adding more liquid? What do I do? I was like, okay, just mix it a little bit more. I was like, okay, go check it before you go sit down for a bit. Because mixing takes, a lot of energy out of you. Hand mixing, first the lard and then the masa. So yeah, so that worked out well though, because as soon as I stopped and it floated, look, it floated. So yeah, that's definitely conducive to the collective. Yeah, the victory. See, I didn't make this up. This is all has something to do with the collective's energy and what's happening now. Yeah, and I think that like we may be hearing things like, and we're taking it the wrong way, like, oh, it's not going to go as you expected. It could just be like that you expected that you were going to get up earlier and do this way, but in reality you ended up doing it later in the day. And so those are the things, but I don't feel like those things really take you off balance. But I think there may be just to be noted, like just in case, you know, it becomes a thing for you to remain in like this constant energy of flow. So this is the relationship though. I feel like maybe that's the situation too. Yeah, just be prudent. Just keep doing what you're doing. You know, looking through that magnifying glass, that microscope, examining. Yeah. Like how everything is matching up, the synchronicities in the universe. Okay, there are decks that I'm supposed to be using because this is a love reading. And I dedicated certain decks to that because they're love decks. They're romantic decks. So we see the overall energy for the couple is the Sun card. And that really does kind of speak to like they're just both of them being enlightened. Like in general, it's just very an enlightened you know, energy. You can't say anything bad about that. Maybe that's what the enlightenment is coming to be. Like maybe people are starting to realize that themselves. That could possibly be what the situation is. I feel like they're also only highlighting and focusing on their relationship. Yeah. They're only focusing on the relationship. Making sure to like, I don't know, maybe there's been some like concern about, you know, divine feminines being ready or like dating other people or something like that. But your divine feminine won't, if you've already connected and, you know, made a connection with your divine feminine, then there's nothing that can kind of get in the way of that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that may be some of the concerns for some divine masculines who are like waiting to do certain things, or I don't know. But I get the energy of like worrying about fidelity, but that's never an issue with a divine feminine. Oh yeah, see, because it's the Four of Cups. Like the divine feminine knows how to hold back. And there's all these other things too, like just the magnetic charm and energy between the two in the relationship. That's why this magnetic charm is coming here. This magnet is coming here. And then this might be a charm, but this is more of a pentacles in my eye. And like the birds and the sweets and the scissors, because that's a part of like one of these cards shows where the divine masculine had cut the divine feminine's hair off during an act of, you know, intimacy. And it's really just kind of like confirming that that imprintation. So the imprint is solid in your union. So if you know that you've imprinted on your divine feminine, your new divine feminine, if there was an old one, that one doesn't count. But and these are only new relationships. I don't do readings on past stuff. If it comes up, I'll be very specific about the past stuff, and I'll usually do a separate reading for that individual to tell you about their energy or what's happened if you've taken them back. But me personally, I'm only on like, I want someone to get it right the first time, to come into my energy, to see me, to know not to, you know, mess around, not to play around. Yeah. Yeah, someone to be able to really lead me, like, but them also be guided enough by spirit to be in their full energy, because that's really who's guiding you when you're in the full energy, right? Yeah, and then to be in this emperor energy, I got to put my hand over his wand because, or staff, or whatever you want to call that, because that was not normal. Ooh, this is different too.
Can you open it for me? Yeah. Thank you. It's my tongue.
Burning. We were eating some spicy nachos. Spicy Doritos, because, well, my daughter is. I'm one of those picky eaters, so yeah. But I think that's like, it's a timing thing too, I think, and it kind of depends on what you feed them when they're younger, but not everybody's palates are the same too. Ooh, this is nice. Ooh. Wow, how can you ask for anything more? Literally, this is the love reading and it's the sun card. So it's like these individuals are enlightened. They're aware of themselves. They're aware of their higher power. They're aware of, everything about self that needs to be, right? And for union. And then in addition to that, like they're also balanced and able to work with one another really well is what I'm getting from this temperance card. Because I get this kind of like, this whole like pouring of each other's cups, like filling one another's cups. And then this star energy is really, I feel like, conducive to that intimate relationship. Oh, wow. Yep. Look, it's always going to be bomb.com between these two. I didn't even realize that card was sitting there. Look at that. The imprintation. That looks like a rope. There's a heart with a pen. Maybe there's some type of like commitment ceremony if you guys aren't already married. Yeah. And then maybe even teaching one another some things. I'll just leave it at that because I feel like there's like a multitude of things, that's coming from this star energy too. Like all of this little stars down there. So I feel like it's a multitude of things. Like, I mean, just take it from the top and to the bottom to be realistic and, from manifestation to business to loving to child rearing to, it's just kind of like everything, best way to get to the such and such, the best restaurant, the best, all kinds of stuff. Way to tell the best cantaloupe. Like, I don't know. It's like a lot of, like, it's a lot of, like it's just the dynamic is really nurturing and nourishing for each of the individuals involved in it. It comes from this divine place. I mean, think about it. We got the Sun card, the Temperance card, the Star card, and the Ace of Swords. This is a love reading, by the way. Oh my goodness. And it's so true. Like, it's so honest. And that's the thing too. I think why people don't understand why I say firmly like, oh, twin is just an energy, because I believe it is. It's an energy of being able to recognize another soul that you could connect with on a deeper level. Whether everybody can do that or not, I don't know. But I know that like there are different levels to this energy. And this feels like this is your twin. This is like your twin soul. Like this is the other half of you if you didn't know. Where's that other deck? There's this other deck I have that shows that card so well. Yep, and I'm whistling when I talk too. That's another way I know. You're like, whoosh. Whistle while you twerk. Okay, what else? I feel like that's another reason why they get along so well too. It's like there's all this lightheartedness, a lot of singing and laughter and joy and excitement about all the things that they're finding out about one another, and not in just in the way of like just getting to know each other, but like in the ways that they're growing one another, like in the business sense, and like I said, all of these things from the ruda to the tuda. All of these different things in different ways. Are those blank? Flirting with you always gives me butterflies. Okay, I was wondering if that was ever going to come back out because that was a download about the 2-2. This is a thing when you're with someone who is a divine being. You're just going to have butterflies. So if that's not something you're comfortable with, you need to get comfortable with it. Otherwise, you shouldn't be with a divine being. They are going to make you have the butterflies. That's usually what people are all like, why do I still get butterflies about this person and nervous? And it's like, it's a divine partner. Like this person takes you to the next level. So you need to just check out the song Butterflies by Michael Jackson. Again, a lot of Jackson energy with this union with respect to like legacy and like understanding of love language and all those things. All I want is you. This is so beautiful. I feel like those are the thoughts too. And those are the inner child speaking. Oh, wow. That's so awesome. That is the inner child of both of these speaking because it's coming with this sun card right in the middle. And you see that the sun card is just this little child, right? So you guys are meeting each other or have met each other already on the inner child level, or that's what's happening right now for this union to come into, full commitment. whether that be moving in together, getting a ring, you know, going out, communicating for the first time, you know, whatever it means, you know, however that relates to your connection, because everybody's at different stages. Again, this is about new. This is not about somebody coming back from your past. So if that's what you're looking for, you need to check out a new, you know, not saying that this person isn't a past life soulmate. Most definitely, this person is the only past life soulmate that you ever should have been with, to be, if we're gonna be 100 about it, because this person is the only person that you should have, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is your other half of you. But I mean, I guess the experience is just, I mean, you know, we can't discount it, right? We can't discount the life that we were a Chinese ballerina. No. Who are we? Ooh. Speaking of the ballerina, I feel like there's like some flexible divine feminines too, who have like learned things in their little, you know, whatever classes they go to or whatever, you know, little things they be doing. Maybe some of them take pole dancing classes. I know that's a popular thing. So I feel like that's kind of a part of it too, with all this flirting. And it's like, you know, I feel like this is a good time. Like, it's always like divine masculine might be like lured over to like somewhere for divine feminine. She's like, I saw this sofa and I really love this sofa. And then he gets into the spot and and it's actually like something set up for him to be like, you know, for her to dance for him or something, like, because they don't have a pole in their bedroom. They're not, you know, on that level. They have children and, you know, things to do. It's not like that. There's no dungeon as far as you get to know. Like, from being for real, like, ooh, I feel like this has been something divine masculine has communicated so frequently to divine feminine, and it's like nonstop. Like, this is, they are insatiable by Prince. That's also another one of the energies that comes out a lot. So insatiable. I'm putting that up by this Temperance. Okay, so that's coming out with this Temperance, because I guess maybe when most people would have makeup sex, you know, that's why those toxic people argue and, you know, cause drama and, you know, whatever, that's so they say. I think they just can't control themselves. With you guys, the way that you guys are able to do that is because you guys understand like the desire and the need to really be rough sometimes, and to kind of let your animal nature, and just, you know, if you've had a bad day, it's not even necessarily like, it could be somebody, you know, scratch divine masculine car, or, you know, whatever it is, because I know that these men be serious about their cars. So, you know, it come on, but after they like, hey, like, he might want to, you know, if you're not old enough for this or don't understand why this is a part of it, then you should not be watching this. And it says, I knew before sex that I wanted you as my wife and the mother of my children. So if anybody is confused about how they go from this and this and this and this, because it meets all of those needs. That's why it's a divine relationship, because it does meet all those levels. Where something was lacking in the previous ones is why those didn't work. Wow. So I knew before we even did anything. And I said that too once. I said that in a past reading. Like, there's this thing that guys know, that they know. Like, especially if it's this way in, you know, one realm, then they know for sure. And that's why maybe guys have been so, there's been a lack of monogamy, because again, we had to awaken as women, right? We had to become divine in order to be desired, right? Because that's the whole attraction energy. That's what makes us so alluring. That's what makes, you know, but anyway. And divine masculine, you know, they're just good looking men. They're just, you know, they just a man's man. You know, they're not out here playing no games, and, you know, they're not, no, don't get it twisted. They was all players. Let me just put it that way. They was all players in the game. Okay. They've all had their love them and leave them moments, and, you know, whatever. Everybody's got their stories. But anyway, mommy really misses cuddling with you at this very moment. So anybody who's in who's not, you know, in close proximity right now with their person, and isn't spending you know, the time with them that they would like to, they do miss that cuddling. Yeah. And I think that's a part of their relationship. Like, they look forward to laying down. You know, that's always been a huge part of it. It's like, after dealing with the whole entire day, at some point, they were really always every day happy to like run home and go lay down. And maybe people wondered, like, why is this person sleeping so much? Because they're cuddling with their person. Everybody just thought they just was tired from work and whatever, which is also true. But they were with each other. People may not have known that though. And that's the great part about them not being, quick to spill all their business. Mommy believes you are her better half. Mommy said everything you do is a dream come true. And I feel like that's something divine masculine needs to know too. Like there's no way to get it wrong because you're being honest and sincere and you're being genuine with your efforts and your energy. And as long as you remain in that type of energy, there shouldn't be any problems. It's when you guys start to act out of past ways of thinking and like, oh, well, let me try to manipulate the situation versus let me try to understand the circumstances in the situation. Let me try to figure out if there's another way that we can, go about this circumstance situation that's better for everybody, or doesn't put all the stress on me. Because that's also part of some things that divine masculine might struggle a little bit with, is like letting divine feminine actually like delegating things to her, outside of just tending to his, his masculine needs. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people, get stuck in a certain mindset. But anyway. But it looks like that won't be a problem because daddy loves watching you eat his cooking. He sees you tasting it. So maybe that's a part of their love languages too. Maybe for you guys as your food and your cooking. I'm big on cooking, so I could see how that would relate. I'm up here talking about minor emergency. My muscle wasn't floating. I gotta stand here and whip a bit longer. Well, it didn't go as planned. So funny. Like, as I thought I was just about to mix it. I knew I was gonna have to put in some time with that lard and like soften that for a bit. So I spent a good like 45 minutes whipping some lard. And then to turn out and be like, wait a minute, I gotta stay here another hour and a half. I keep pouring. Oh. But I think a part of the trick too is also adding warm liquid, and the liquid from the meat that you're putting inside the tamales is a huge part of it too. Like I feel like that helps like, mush it up a little bit, because I feel like that's what it is. And it also made sense to me too, like why, that might be a part of it too. Like it made sense to me, like why when I looked at certain people filling tamales, why they, because my idea was, I honestly thought I was getting there and I was about to roll them in balls and flatten it with this tortilla flattener, right? But because it needed to be a certain texture and softness in order to be a fluffy, and not be like, how some tamales be hard. Yeah, I don't want that. Daddy likes that you are fun and sweet. But yeah, I feel like that's a part of it. It's like you guys, it's this whole get it right the first time. Oh, that was the download. Okay, so, and what I meant by that, like get it right the first time, it's not that, here, that stripper stuff is coming out too. It's not that you guys are perfect and you're not going to make any mistakes in your relationship. No. It's that you guys are smart enough and emotionally intelligent enough to communicate with each other about what you see happening with each other, between the two of you, etc., etc. So much so that you're able to say and communicate things effectively to where the other person can see themselves. Okay. And then from there, you also allow your person enough time to show you that they've improved. If you come to your person and say, well, you keep doing this, this, and this, and they're like, well, it's because of this, this, and this. If you fix the this, and this for them, then they shouldn't have that complaint anymore, right? And there's always a little room for like, because some people, if you're like me, I'll go, that's the first thing I used to do at jobs, was tell them, oop, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I'm that kind of employee. Like I come to you real quick, like, oh, I jacked up here. Because I'd rather just come to you and show you what's going on versus like try to, go do something and make the situation worse. But it was always never really a problem either. And it's probably because I was so forthcoming to be like, hey, I would always catch something before it became a problem. And then it turned out to be like a teaching tool. So that may happen here in this relationship too, is where it's like, okay, because these people are so forthcoming, there's like where they get extra information. Like there was this guy that I dated, and he took me one day, he rode a motorcycle and he was getting something, and he took me on his bike to go over to the shop and get some other stuff and have somebody do something to his bike, and we were supposed to hang out and wait. So I'm sitting there chilling or whatever, and he's talking to the guy in the back, that's fixing his car, his friend or whatever. And then I didn't realize until later, like some broad came in and she came over and she was like, some mannish ass broad too. And she came over and she like introduced herself and like, she's like, yeah, that's my nabby outside. And I'm just kind of looking at her like, I don't even know. Like, why are you telling me about your car? Like, and then we get rolling and we get home later that evening. And he's like, yeah, he was like, oh, did she tell you about your nabby? And I was like, yeah, who is that? And he was like, oh, that's my ex. So that kind of stuff I was not cool with. Like, I don't like people bringing me around their exes. Like, let me know if you done dealt with somebody. And so that's, it's a learning kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I didn't go off on you because it's like, of course you don't go off, but you make that clear. But that also gave me things to know, to tell people, from Jump Street. Like, please don't bring me around none of your females. Like, not without telling me who it is. Like, don't walk me in somewhere blind. So I feel like that's also an unspoken, like, respect for one another in this relationship. Is like, you guys aren't going to put each other in circumstances or situations. Like, I'm not even going to put you in that type of situation. Yeah, that's what I get. Like, I'm not even going to disrespect you or me or our love or what we done worked so hard for, to go and do, like, for what? That's also like, I used to have, like, there would be guys from my past that as soon as they got married, they would call me or text me or come, like, show me somewhere. And I'm like, why aren't you just enjoying your marriage? Like, what is there a competition here? I didn't know about? Like, I still, if y'all know what that's about, please let me know, because I don't understand. I would, if I'm married to somebody, I have no time to go tell nobody else. I'm with my person. I ain't got time to tell somebody, look, I got married. What I'm telling you for, I'm enjoying my person. That's how you know people is not well. And these are people that, like, probably, like, I don't know, let them tell you the story. Who knows what they'd say? You know what I mean? But that's what people do when they're not well. And that's the truth. Those cards fell right there on the Ace of Swords because I ain't got no reason to lie. I'll show you. I'll show you the inboxes. If I really kept and held on to stuff like that, but I could tell you the names. Like, it didn't make sense to me. But anyway, I never. I'm busy with my baby. Like, what the hell? Why are you thinking about someone? I'm sorry. It just cracks me up every time I think about that. But anyway, Daddy didn't know how much he loved kisses until he got them from you. That's some strong energy that's been out lately. So if you notice that your person is saying goodbye to you and they're like kissing you a couple more times, or they're just randomly like, okay, kisses. Okay, kisses. They might even reach over and be like, ooh, I found something. And then kiss you. Like to them, like, oh, I found a place to plant this little kiss, so get that. You always know exactly how to relieve all of Daddy's stress, and he doesn't know how you do it, but he loves it. So I think we got an idea which Divine Feminine be up to. And that stripper card was in here. It was like something about stripper. I saw it in here. That's why I was like, oh, that stripper energy is coming back out. And slapping that ass in them shorts and watching. So I feel like that's another thing Divine Masculine enjoys doing. Like, that's why he doesn't mind being at home. He got cakes to watch at the place. Look, I got my 10 cups at home. We got food at home. He's like, got cakes at home. Oh my goodness. There's also this energy too, like, I don't know for who, what, when, where, or why, or how, but hold on, where's this other deck of cards? Like, for some people in certain relationships outside of the butterflies too, with divine beings or divine feminines, it gets better over time. Like, it doesn't, like, I don't know what you've experienced with other people, but with divine beings, it gets better over time. It does not, like, it does not. There's, what do you mean going down? On who first? When? Why? Where? Like, that's the kind of energy there. Yeah, there's no indecision here. There's like no hang-ups when it comes to the bedroom here. This is the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is showing the 69 in action. Yeah. There's no, yeah, I can't even show that one. I don't. But yeah, can't use this deck. It's gonna make me giggle too much. Look, this is that thing I just told you about, like smacking the booty. Oh, I saw that one come out in there too, like where they finger get in there. It don't just be like a little smack. It actually get a little dip. Get a little dip. Getting a little dip. Ooh. Yeah. See, I told you guys this love secret is this erotic bliss, is being able, like, you know, to be free with each other, to enjoy, you know, all of that. Because that's what people like. That's crazy, because this joy and jubilation. Look at that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you went through this period of standing alone, right? To kind of build it, because it's coming out second, right? With this little, the sun card. So it's like, yes, there was that period of standing alone that was needed, because you knew, like, you were flirting with the idea of the joy and jubilation. Like, that's maybe where you guys have been all this time, is you guys have been flirting with the idea. And that's what daddy, oh my goodness. That's what Divine Masculine really likes. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm sorry. Try not to get distracted. And the standing alone period has helped that, like, encourage you both. And then the body positive by Divine Feminine. Oh, this is so smart. I love the divine. Okay, look. All I want is you, right? That's what this card literally says. And it says, but you always know that. And that comes through Divine Feminine really getting into this body positive energy, knowing how sexy she is, knowing how attractive she is, knowing, you know, how insatiable, you know, she is, which also, you know, that current flows to your partner, right? And that's why it gets better. You know, that's why there's always butterflies. I hope that helps people. That came out real nice, though. Like, the only reason why all Divine Masculine wants and needs and looks at is you, is because you are in this body positive energy. Because you do know how to relieve his stress. And it's not just a physical thing, because that came out here. It's like, before that, I even knew. Because that was the other thing, too. That was something I knew when I divorced my husband. It was like, okay, you have to like the person as a person. I think there was another couple that even told me that. Like, you have to like the person, like, just in general. Like, you have to be able to have, like, met this person at a, you know, at a barbecue, and then you run it, if you ran into them at, like, let's say, oh gosh, what kind of other, as you know, at a friend's you know, graduation party, that you would go over to that person and say, oh, hey, I saw you at that barbecue, remember? You have to like the person. You have to like the person, just like on GP. And a lot of people forget that part. They think that it's just the physical attraction. It's like, nah, you got to have that secondary part, because if this, you want this to last throughout life. And for something that lasts throughout life, you have to have a lot of different reasons to want this around, right? This person, place, or thing, right? Because some people's taste in cars changes over time. And I feel like I just imagined cars, because I never liked a car. I never liked a car. And then all of a sudden, I was pregnant with my oldest son, who's now about to be 18. So it's about 18, 19 years ago. And I was like, ooh, excuse me. And I was like, ooh, I want a Porsche, but I want a 4-door Porsche. And Porsche didn't make 4 doors. Porsche didn't make 4 doors until that year, which was wild to me. It was like, oh, okay, well, thank you. And that's still the car that I like. Like, even if I go back to other cars and look at it, or like the Jag SUV, like, there's very specific, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's just like, there's very specific pieces and parts of everybody. And for someone to meet someone that, you know, kind of matches up with them, or, you know, is the other part of their puzzle, you know what I mean? Because that's also what we saw in the last reading, like the up and the down. Like, that's how they match. Ooh, look at this. Just on the split. Wow. Oh, and then I think that's also a part of it too. This is that, isn't this a Magician card? I think this is a Magician card. Yeah. And manifesting money becomes easier for Divine Masculine too, when he's in the right relationship. Oh, that card doesn't even belong in here. So maybe it was just, you know, confirming more things, because again, these things don't happen, you know, on accident. Where is that deck? I was going to use that one, but I'm not familiar with all the, like, the knaves and I'm not familiar with everything like that yet. So I like to sit with my decks a bit before I bring them in, but that's clearly the Magician card. So I'm not going to discount that this is something that you guys both manifested. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. And that's why it's so hard to, like, get you guys to not want each other. Like, that's why it's so hard to, like, break this union, is because it's like, it would literally, like, be the end to you guys to not be together. So that's why it's like, okay, we have to do everything in this individual moment and kind of get rid of all of our demons and burden ourselves to be in this solidarity. Because again, this is all about the one in the middle, the standing alone. Like, that was all worth it, you know? And if you have a connection, then you know that. You know what I mean? That's also part of it too, is not forgetting that part. Because I feel like some people who aren't in, yeah, don't get in any two of swords thinking like that your person, yeah, stay in this energy. Yeah. Stay in the light of it. Because that's the only place that it actually lives. That's the only vibration that this relationship exists. So when you go into any negative thinking about the circumstances, situation, all the rest of that, you're putting it in a vibration that it doesn't belong, which is going to make you susceptible to someone else's energy. I don't know. I'm just trying to help here. It really is like, a full-on like leaving of the past to get to the future, that joy and jubilation. Yep, look at that. Justice is coming in. Yep. Might be a tower for some people, but it's a tower that you guys, it's kind of like you have to do demolition to build anew, right? So this tower is inevitable, right? And then look at the two coming out together. Killing them. Killing them. Ooh, the 9 is fruition too. And that's the 9. Ooh, wow. Ooh, it's going to make somebody mad because there's somebody in the background looking. Yeah. It's going to make anybody in the background mad. I mean, of course they would. They wanted to keep divine masculine thinking, and keep you, chasing. And instead, you guys are meeting up and, doing your own thing and not letting anybody know. And that's what love is. That's really what love is being confident. Oh, where is this coming from? This is another card from that other deck again. Okay. And it's the Queen of Cups. You guys are, and it's the way that you love him. That's what he says. It's the way that you love me. Oh, baby. That's why he knows that it's real. Because nobody's done this. Nobody's loved him like this. Nobody's made him, feel and understand love and like its trueness. Yeah, I guess this is like, it's strong too. It's like really, really strong, I guess, or something like that. I don't know. That's nice. That's really nice. Yep. It's like, how can you not surrender to a love so strong? Like to something that if you keep thinking about this person, even when you're with other people or, whatever have you, like, it's kind of like, yeah, because I think that was also part like that you guys had to go through as well in this individual moment of like even trying to see if someone else could, tickle your fancy. No pun intended. That's like funny to me. But I don't think that's like, yeah, it's too powerful. It's giving the High Priestess and the King of Pentacles. So it's like, yeah, it's just too, like, there's just too much of everything right with the other, like with this, with your person, if you were ever to be around other people, it's like, there's just too many right things with your person that other people don't match up, other people, it's like nothing compares to you. What's up?
I put the squishy.
That's gross.
In here.
Yeah, that's gross.
Well, can I show you something?
Yeah, let me see.
There's a door on me.
Okay, hurry up, baby. I'm live. Ew!
No, did you see the jelly?
Yes, I saw them float to you and float back. Okay. We'll go make the rest of the tamales in a minute. All right, girl, I gotta go steam some tamales for my New Year's Eve. But I feel like this is just a great way to kind of move into the new year and do everything that you want to do with purpose and, with someone that actually wants the same thing. So I wish everybody really well in their new unions and everything new that's coming to them, because I feel like a lot of people are just getting a lot of new unions. But this one specifically is something that maybe you've waited, all this time for, and it's finally here for you. So I'm super excited for the collective. And I hope that this has been helpful, insightful in some way, shape, or form. The last card out here was the 3 of Pentacles. And I guess that's another little message for those who didn't know. A lot of times when I used to see this card, I used to think it was a strength card, right? Because it's giving the same energy. And it's actually the 3 of Pentacles. And what people didn't realize is, even if maybe Divine Masculine was out there and around other feminines or whatever, I don't know. And Divine Feminine may have been some energy like this, like, letting go of the past kind of energy and saying goodbye. Letting things, go to their graves, people, places, and things with respect to, you know, how the tower falls. But I feel like that's also something people discounted. They didn't see, like, whenever they say, oh, they're working together, divine masculine and divine feminine have teamed up and they're working together. That's what this means. That's what this means. They would be there to protect each other. They'd be there to give each other, you know, whatever it is that they needed at any time, because they built this off of that kind of relationship where it was just kind of like, okay, I'm not going to ask anything from you. I'm just going to be here for you in this way. But just make sure you don't shortchange me on what it is that I need. And they've always kept that up. So they don't shortchange each other. I guess that's why it's the Three of Pentacles. Like, there's no shortchanging here. And the Seven of Pentacles, you know, is the patience energy. So it's like, you know, as long as you were patient and, you know, you meet someone who's not going to shortchange you in that Three of Pentacles, who's going to be, you know, the teamwork, then, you know, all is well. So I hope this has been helpful and insightful in some way, shape, or form. And I'll catch you on the next one. Later.